This is the Bear Country Outdoors Barely a Podcast. I'm your host, Doug Joyce, and with me is James Forsland and Chris Cantrell. Thanks for joining.
Welcome back. We're doing another podcast. We have another special guest tonight, Mr. Josh Rutt of the Delta Waterfowl chapter here in Washington State.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
And he's part of the North Sound chapter, right?
Yep, North Sound chapter.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we're a fairly new chapter. We're in our first year. We got our first banquet coming up in May. Yeah, it's great to be a part of Delta. Delta's got great things going on for conservation. They're truly the duck hunting organization for duck hunters.
I'm going to go on there and follow them because I don't follow Delta. We should be following them for
Yeah,
sure.
right?
Yep.
What were they based out of, like, originally? Like, where did they start their first, like, chapters?
First, Delta Marshes came from, they were up in Manitoba. And then they
Okay.
established their headquarters in 1930, I believe, in Bismarck. And the
Really?
headquarters still in Bismarck, North Dakota now. Yeah.
Okay. And what did you were telling me about a wild story about them trying to, like, protect a group of, like, canvasbacks or
Yep,
something
they're
like that?
down to very few canvasback. I believe it was maybe 5 they had, and they decided they were going to protect those canvasback at all costs. So they paid just a couple good old boys to come out and do whatever it took, whether it be 4-legged or 2-legged predators. They were going to protect those ducks, and
Yeah.
they did.
I mean, at that point, it's like it's do or die, right?
Yeah.
And that's probably the main reason why they're still canvasback hunting, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. And that's where it started at. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So they're like very similar to Ducks Unlimited, except for they're a little bit more maybe hands-on with some of the, or are they doing about the same?
They are. Ducks Unlimited does a lot more purchasing land, create land for duck habitat. Delta doesn't purchase any land. They do have a program where they're giving incentive to farmers to keep water land open instead of draining it for farming.
Okay.
So they're big on the predator control of it. They understand the predators on the nesting areas are huge, so they employ trappers.
You're in the right spot for that, buddy.
Yeah,
Right?
we like that.
Yeah.
So
We'll come and help manage some predators to save some ducks.
We'll smoke a pack a day.
Yeah.
I love the
We're
idea.
going to have some new rifles to be put into use here pretty soon.
Yes, sir.
Which we just got a new shipment in the mail. I think now would be a good time
I'm super excited.
because we didn't announce that, did we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
Okay.
but we got a pile of some 223-556 ammo that we're going to be using in our new builds. So we're building, which is just because I think crushes our good friend Matt Russell. Again, mentioning Matt Russell, I know he's listening to these, critiquing my every word. Thank you, thank you for that, Matt Russell, my glass half empty buddy. We're gonna build like $10,000
223s.
223s,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they're gonna be
Suck it, Matt.
freaking legit. They're going to be a 20-inch barrel. Everything's going to be carbon fiber, MDT carbon fiber stock, Benchmark carbon fiber blanks, American
Loophole scopes.
American Rifle Co., Coup de Grace lightweight, actions, 10mm triggers. They're going to be like, if you're going to build the best hunting rifle you could build, it's just going to be.
Yeah.
Are we?
And we're going to shoot the piss out of those.
Oh.
I know I am.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a lot cheaper to shoot.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
How
A little recoil, too. You can really practice up on your shooting.
Yeah. Imagine if those were suppressed, dude. Those would be quiet.
That's my
machines.
plan.
Yeah.
You know how quiet those are going to be?
Yeah. We need to get some suppressors. We need a suppressor sponsorship.
Yeah.
If you work at a suppressor company or you know people that are like tied in deeply, send our information to them. We'd love to talk suppressors.
We should talk to Adam Granda since he's always like in my DMs, I saw him at the Silencer Central booth. Maybe we talk to them.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. Silencer Central was just at that show that I was at, which
Really?
we'll touch on later.
Yeah.
But they left abruptly. So
Left abruptly.
To wrap up on the Hornady stuff real quick, we got like 6 different kinds of ammunition. Right now, I think we got 4 or 5 different calibers. So we already have our 300 PRCs that we built. We're going to do 6.5 PRC. We're going to do the 5.56s, and then we even got some 460 Smith & Wesson ammunition for Doug and I's hog legs we pack around.
Yeah, I love how you guys both got your pistol ammo, but I'm screwed.
Well, it's hard to get the smaller caliber ammo, you know.
I mean, a 44 is a smaller
It's
caliber.
like, you know,
I mean, you got to step it up, Jim. You got to join the big boys.
44s.
Apparently.
I remember my first beer, James. It's good.
It all started when I was looking for a big revolver.
I know.
And then Chris had already put, the word out for that other one that you eventually got,
Well,
right?
You know what the funny thing is that you actually got to use yours in like a bear self-defense.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like the first year you had it,
Oh, yeah.
which is wild.
And it works really well.
It worked just how I wanted it to work.
Yeah.
Yep, it did.
Yeah, you got
Put
charged by a bear,
Literally,
and you killed said bear with one shot, right?
one shot.
I think that's a pretty good review of your
yeah,
handgun
dude.
and
And
your.
I mean,
the penetration.
The
was
crazy thing is that bear did not make a peep of noise after it hit the ground.
Nope. It
No.
ran and then just died.
Yeah.
It ran itself out of steam.
Did not make a death moan.
Huh.
It was done.
Well, you put a half-inch hole in something. It's good. You know.
Well, I mean, he
Well,
wouldn't
remember
stem
I
the
told you
stern.
the hemorrhaging was like this big, like coming out its ass end in the exit wound.
Yeah, because you shot it in the chest.
Yeah,
and
it went in right here and it came out right in front of the hip.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
Yep,
Wow.
all the way through, pass through. Which is crazy. That's a lot of penetration. You're talking about, 40 inches.
Well, I mean, it
almost.
was only 5 yards. I mean,
Right.
with a 460.
yeah, coming
Yeah.
out at 1,800 feet per second. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, that's
Pretty wild.
That's pretty awesome. No, I'm a big bore caliber revolver guy. I had the 454. I got the 460 now.
yeah,
I got different size guns too. So my 460 is a shorty. My 454 is an 8.3/8. I like both of them. I like the idea of shooting the 454 through the 460 if I wanted to as well.
and you can also shoot 45 long Colt through the 460 as well.
Yeah. So
And it honestly, it feels like you're shooting a 22.
when I shoot 45 long Colts out of my Taurus, the 8.3/8,
Yeah,
because it's the
like
heavy.
it's like nothing.
Dude. Bro.
Yeah,
Yeah. Bee's knees.
it's pretty cool though.
Yeah, I'm excited. So I'm really thankful for Hornady. They stepped
Yeah.
up and gave us some really good ammo. We've been shooting their stuff for a long time. We're already
Yeah,
shooting
I've
their
been
stuff
shooting
through the
this stuff
300
for a long
PRC,
time.
so,
Yeah,
No, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, thanks, Hornady.
Yeah, thanks, Hornady. And while I was setting up the display table so nicely with the Hornady ammo for James, he came in with a box of stuff too. Are we?
Yeah, we can announce that now, too. So
yeah, because you got their hat on.
Yeah, I'm wearing
yeah.
their hat, too.
Yeah,
So we just finally finalized a partnership with Buck Knives. So Montana Knife Company was really good to us, and we had a great run with them, and we really appreciated what they did for us for the years that we were with them. And there was no hard feelings, there was no drama, there's no real good backstory to it. We were kind of going one direction, and they're just kind of going the same direction that we've been going, and we just decided that it was time to part ways. And Buck Knives has been on our radar for a long time, and it's another American-made company. It's been around forever. It's a legacy brand.
yeah,
and-
legacy
Yeah.
brand. We've
Yep.
all used their knives
We've-
before in the
we've grown
past,
up-
ever since we were little
Yeah,
kids.
we've grown up using their blades since we were little kids, and
yeah,
like I still have some of my Buck Knives from
Yeah.
when I was like a
Right,
teenager.
right?
So it was a no-brainer for us, like if outside of MKC, what we wanted to partner with. And
Yeah.
So.
And I still really obviously, I love my MKC knives.
Yeah.
Oh
me
yeah.
too.
Josh-
well, I
I
mean,
think
there's
Josh is a great
Yeah,
guy.
their knives are awesome.
Yeah.
We're not gonna dog on their knives.
Right,
No.
and like I said, it wasn't. There was no hard feelings. There's no drama. There's
Yeah.
there's no nothing. It just, for us, it made more sense to kind of shift direction, and so we're really excited and
Yeah.
feel fortunate to partner with Buck Knives, and I think
Yeah.
it's going to be a great partnership, and we're going to help
Yeah.
them, and they're going to help us, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I can't
So-
wait to use their stuff.
So go check out the Buck Knives store. They have so many knives. It's
Yeah.
not like it was shocking to me when
Yeah.
I looked at their site and was like.
Ranging from super nice, expensive knives, all the way down to your more
Like
cheaper
affordable,
knives.
yeah.
That you can afford.
You can find a $30 knife, and you can find a $300
Yeah,
knife. Like
yeah.
there's like
Wide
a
range.
huge range.
Speaking of, unboxing and gifts and things. So Josh does get a Bear Country Outdoors limited edition single run T-shirt here, but we're starting a new thing. When I say we, I mean me. And the boys are like, God damn it, Chris.
Oh, boy. We don't even know what he's going to do here, folks.
We're going to play a fun...
He's got the box.
Is
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Chris
What's
really
in the
did.
box?
He really did go get a limited edition mankini.
Yes.
He's going to give it to him right now.
So,
let's touch base on that. James probably posted one of the funniest April Fool's posts on Instagram. He almost had me.
Did I really?
Yeah. I looked at it and I'm like, no, he did not really just say that. And then I saw, April Fool's at the bottom.
I wouldn't have said
like, that son of a bitch.
I wouldn't have said April Fool's because it would probably have driven a lot of people.
Dude. Dude, I'm going to go home tonight and I'm going to look on our store and there's probably going to be like 1,000% increase of sessions on the store, you know.
Okay.
Where are the Speedos at?
Now,
This is a new thing. Okay?
we were going to do this thing where you got to like reach in and feel around it, but then I was worried like there's probably some sharp stuff in here. I don't want people getting cut.
There's some bear traps.
I mean, you got stuff
that
poking
are
out the
already
top.
set.
How are you
Yeah.
going to do that?
Yeah.
Don't dig too deep.
So when you come on the show now,
If you're a special guest.
if you're a special
You're a special guest.
Whether you like it or not, or want it or not.
you get a pick from the box, and we got some good shit. We got like loopholed bino harness. I don't know. We got a Rocky Mountain Elf Edition thing.
Some random bandana.
The floating ball. I don't even know what the fuck that is. A flashlight with no
flashlight?
batteries. There's no batteries in there.
There's probably
Was that supposed to be in that box that you just pulled
A
out?
really some sort of alcohol that I've never used before. I can't read it because I don't have my
let's see.
glasses.
Say
on.
that looks kind of interesting.
Oh wait. Oh, there's more.
Oh, there's more.
Oh, what is this?
Dude, there's all kinds of stuff.
Hander pants.
Hander pants. What is
Underpants for your hands. Dude, there's some quality stuff in here, guys.
that? Yeah.
So, so at the end of the show,
I sued Lorna
wait a minute.
t-shirts.
I old belt buckles. That,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Let me see those. Let me see those.
Oh no.
Let me take a look at them belt
So-
buckles there.
Should we make him pick something now or after the show?
Maybe at the end we'll let
End
him.
of the
we'll
show.
let him- so he has to like.
This
really
is a new
set
thing.
in.
This is a new thing. Yeah.
At the end.
And then we'll take a picture and we'll post it.
There. Okay.
Yeah. That
we'll
way,
do
if he gets a Hander pants, people will be like, "Dude, that's a Hander pants guy."
Dude, that should be the thing. After every podcast, it'll be like a picture.
Leave a comment.
I was on the Barely a podcast.
Leave a comment. What do you want Josh to pick in that box?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff. There's probably a bunch of stuff you didn't even say too.
Oh, dude, there's a French fry holder.
Leave
for
a
your,
comment.
For your
What do
cup
you think this is, Jim? A live
thing in your
podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you.
We are live here.
No, that's what people do on YouTube channels. Like my kids watch all these stupid channels, and they're always like, "Leave a comment what I should do." It's like the post, the video
Well, he's
came out
already-
like 6 months later.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, it's like, how can you tell him what to pick when he's?
It's not to get them to actually tell them. It's to get people to comment so we get more traction. Doug, jeez.
Welcome to the podcast.
Why, thank you. See, and it don't matter when you comment. Right?
No, exactly.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so you got that because you commented on a post.
Yeah, my first YouTube comment ever.
And dude, see,
And then we thought, why not? Why the hell not have this interesting guy on our podcast?
hashtag winning.
Hashtag
Yeah.
winner.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So, what other kind of hunting do you like to do, Josh? Other than waterfowl?
Big bow hunter. This just finished my 4th year of waterfowl. I've always been a bow hunter. Big game.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Deer, elk. The predator hunting, that's something I'm just getting into.
Nice.
So,
Yeah, because it's getting way out of control here in the state.
Yes. That's kind of what I'm seeing too. That's kind of what's led me that route. Retirement helped.
Oh yeah,
So,
for sure.
Yeah.
So you archery hunted? Do you hunt blacktail, whitetail, mule deer? or-
I've been chasing mule deer and sagebrush the last 4 or
Really?
5 years. Really become hooked on that with
Really?
the bow. Yeah, something I always thought crazy to do
yeah.
until I started doing it. And
Is
then,
it pretty hard to get within range and that kind of stuff?
I always thought it would be, but same thing. Play the wind,
Mm-hmm.
move slow, and it's a lot easier than I thought it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've really become a fan of it the last 4 or 5 years.
So mostly mule deer then?
Yeah, started out whitetail with my bow. That's how I started, and then moved into elk.
Okay.
And then, like I said, the last 4 or 5 years has kind of been taking time away from elk camp, just, being hooked on the muleys and the sagebrush.
Yeah. No, I could see that being kind
Lots of bear crawling in the sagebrush.
Yeah. Well, and thank goodness, man. I've been finding some of that 4 or 5 foot high sagebrush.
Oh, yeah.
That
man.
helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Big time.
So
That's
yeah.
kind of cool. I've always wondered what it'd be like doing that open country hunting. I've never really done much of that, even in the
Especially not with a bow.
no, especially not with the bow. But
don't
I
know
could
if
see
I've-
like as long as there's a little bit of like, you know, hills and elevation.
As long as you can
incline
keep
and
yourself
decline.
like from being silhouetted and you know play the wind like you were saying, you know, you can do it.
You know,
Yeah, that's probably the most important thing.
Yeah,
wind.
playing the wind.
Yeah.
It still sucks.
It's still
rough.
It still sucks.
It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
definitely a waiting game. Definitely gotta be patient.
So when you did elk hunting, you did archery as well.
Yeah, yeah. And so I was always, you know, there's not a lot of deer up where we chase elk up on Nanum Ridge up there, you know. Down low, there's quite a few, but so it was always about chasing elk, then slide over to Winthrop, try to fill that deer tag, get back up to the elk camp.
Okay, there you go.
Kind of been swapping that out. I mean, the mule deer numbers up there have just declined so much over
Yeah.
the last 10 years up in Nanum.
Yeah. Well, all those East units, the mule deer numbers have just been kind of steadily declining, and I think 90% of that is well, obviously poor management, you know, with the state and some of the regulations, but also like the predator side of it's gotten kind of out of control. Like wolf packs are kind of all over up in there now, and then you got the cats and you got tons of bears. I mean, the bears, they do a lot of damage in the spring on the fawns.
Oh, for sure.
So,
I mean, I think the study was that the bears are the ones that are doing the most damage to the fawns.
yeah, I mean, that's they have such a nose on them.
Yeah,
they just
they sniff them out.
There's like that 2 or 3 week period when they're first born. That
Yeah, they have a natural non-scent
Yeah.
that little fawns do, but the bears can still pick them up.
Yep, because they got the strongest nose.
Yeah.
But that's why we need to keep our bear season. If we lose our bear season and that population gets even more out of control, then
I mean, you got 3 apex predators in this state that are just actually we got 4 now. You know, we got 2 species of bears.
Yeah, grizzly bears, and then they're trying to bring in more.
Yeah.
Which
So I
is
mean,
just
just
wild.
think about how detrimental that's going to be to the ungulate population. I mean, we've been preaching that, you know.
Yeah.
That's why we've really been hitting it hard. And it's like, if you see a predator when you're out hunting at all, you know, take it.
Well, the worst thing is like we're already at like I feel like our herds are already at like a very fragile state.
Yes,
You know.
100%.
And if they keep going the way that they are, like we could very well lose mule deer hunting in this state in a lot of the units in the next 5 years
Yeah.
if we can.
And now we have all these cases of CWD that are starting to pop up too now. So that's going to even put more of a hinder on.
Did you hear all that stuff about they're trying to completely remove deer?
He
and
just
elk
was
baiting?
talking about that. He
Yeah.
said that they did.
On the 24th.
Oh gosh,
it's
yeah, I had
official.
heard about it. I just didn't know if it was finalized yet.
Tell me about that, Josh.
Oh,
Deer and elk.
Yeah, they put it
No
in
more
on
baiting.
the 24, 30 days from there it goes into effect, but
Wow.
statewide. Yeah.
So no more baiting for deer or elk.
Yep, and they got it. It says right in it permanent, so it's not like a temporary. They list it right as permanent, so
Really?
they don't have to. Yeah, so they don't have to worry about following up on it.
well, there goes about 90% of people's blacktail harvest
I
on
was
the
gonna
west
say,
side.
yeah.
Lately.
Yeah.
Well, what's crazy is the whole reasoning behind it is because of to stop the spread of CWD, right?
Right.
But we're not going to have CWD on the west side. I mean, we may not ever, but we're certainly not going to have it anytime soon. I can understand the logic kind of about like up in the Northeast where they've had it, and I understand like pulling multiple animals in one area and trying to slow down the spread. I get that. But maybe draw the line at the Cascade Mountain Range, you know, like maybe the midway, and let people still bait on the west side, because how else are you going to hunt blacktail like during archery and stuff?
Or you're just not.
There's just
Well, they're
Food
also
plots and apple orchards.
no.
they're going to reevaluate their feeding programs for the elk too. So if they start doing that, what's that going to do for winter survival for
Oh,
our
dude,
elk?
these elk are so dumb. They're so dependent on the
They'll die.
like.
Yeah.
They'll totally die.
So,
Yeah. They're gonna need some help.
Well, the thing with elk is they're gonna congregate in whatever winter range they're in anyway.
yeah.
That
where
is
the
not,
food is where they're gonna go.
That is not going to make a difference
Yeah.
on whether or not they feed them, hay or whatever during the winter.
It's
Those elk are going to be in the same winter range.
It's perfect though when you think about it. Like they took our spring bear hunt away, right? And they've been trying to attack all of our predator hunting because if you don't manage the predators, they'll eat all the deer and elk, right? That's how it works. And then when there's no deer and elk to hunt, then they can take our seasons away. And the anti-hunters, boop, perfect plan, right? Now there's no hunting in Washington State. The first state to completely ban all hunting because they're already trying to ban trapping. They're trying to ban everything else. So how else to do it? Dude, that's a great idea. Take away baiting, and then you can't feed the elk, right? And then all the elk die because they're used to it because they've been habituated to come every single winter to the elk feeding grounds.
Yeah, and then they
And
go
now
there.
you don't
Where's
feed
all
'em?"
the hay?
Yeah, and then they all die, right? Oh, geez. Well, we don't have an elk population. Now you guys can't hunt them. Bang. Win for anti-hunters. They killed all the elk. Now we can't hunt them. And then...
Well, and could you imagine, like, the first 2 years after they quit feeding elk in, like, a winter range?
Dude, massive die-off.
Yeah, first there'd be a massive die-off. But not only that, but, like, those elk are going to have to try to find food somewhere. They're going to be in everyone's egg land.
Oh, big time, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
100%.
I don't
They're
know
gonna-
how they can correlate the baiting to CWD. Because, I mean, you already have, farmers that feed their livestock. So, I mean, they're already going to be eating basically agricultural
They're just
food.
they're trying to keep them more separated into smaller groups, and they think by eliminating and it's kind of.
I would love to see some studies on it because I don't think it really would pan out. But I do feel like
Well, they're herd animals anyway.
yeah, I mean it's not like it'd be like don't bait the bears. Well, we already don't bait the bears, and when you do bait the bears, you might if you've ever hunted over bait for bears, you might see two bears at one bait at the same time, and they're
Right.
and they're not touching noses, right? They're beating the
No.
shit out of each other. One just runs away.
Yeah.
And honestly, when deer are together, they're not the same thing. They're not like kissing each other. They might eat within a couple feet of each other, but
I don't know how it's transmitted.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Have you ever heard of something called the rut? I don't know. I'm pretty sure the bucks chase does in all over the place, and all different kinds of bucks and does, and they're all intermixing and doing other things. They get very close.
They get very close, close and personal.
Well, an N95 mask and a 6-foot rule should cure it, right?
All right, that's it. Josh, you're brilliant.
Yeah.
We just need to get masks on all the
Yeah.
deer and
Let's
keep
put
them
masks.
6 feet apart.
Problem solved.
Oh, man.
we'll keep them separated with the underground.
You're
fence
hired.
that they're
Yeah.
putting
If
in
we
already.
could just do that, we could stop the spread of
Spread of
CWD.
CWD.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
Holy shit. We
All right.
figured it out, guys.
We just ordered 2 million masks for deer.
I don't think that's enough.
Oh, okay.
They
Maybe.
probably already did, and Elon just hasn't found it in Doge, dude. They probably already have a 65 million allocated in Washington State.
Probably did. Wouldn't that be wild? Like, I don't know. Some of the stuff they come up with is like the whole underground
The fence,
the
yeah.
underground electric bear
Yeah,
fence.
it's
like,
a great idea.
dude.
And then we'll just go collar the bears. Be like, excuse me, Mr. Bear, can you please?
But what's really sad is that these people are being dead serious.
Dude,
They're
people-
not making a joke. They're not like spewing off just random ideas. Like, they are dead serious and thinking that is what
Dead
the
set
answer
on
is.
that's what the answer is, yeah.
And then they're like, now we get to go play and make all the decisions for all the hunting regulations for the state.
It's
And
like,
that's the person.
where are they going to get all this money to do all this stuff?
From me and you, buddy.
Well, didn't you see our newest tax hike? Didn't you hear about what they're
Oh,
doing
yeah.
with
Biggest
licenses
in state
and stuff?
history.
Yeah.
Yeah, great, thanks.
I mean,
jacking it up again.
they're increasing.
Wasn't it 13%?
Yeah, but I think like hunting licenses is gonna be more, isn't it?
38.
Yeah.
Yeah.
38%,
Jeez.
and then they're talking about like they're gonna screw over the people that buy the discovery passes, which.
Oh yeah, I heard that doubled. Didn't
By
it?
the way, F.U. Washington, I've never bought a Discovery Pass, and you come and find me.
I think that's a scam in itself. I mean,
Yeah.
we already paid
It
you know,
is.
thousands of dollars in
It
taxes
is.
for the state, and now they want to nickel and dime us on. You got to have this $30 Discovery Pass to go out in the wilderness. Like,
Yeah.
dude,
Well,
fucked.
and then like hiking passes too. I didn't even know hiking passes was a real
and not
thing.
only that is if you go into there's another one that you have to have when you go into what is it?
Like a wilderness.
Now is it wilderness or is it the national forest or something? There's another one you have to have.
Well, they have the Discovery Pass, and then you have hiking passes, and now they're making them specific to trail systems.
and I think that there's a forest pass too.
Oh yeah, you might be right.
I can't remember which one it is.
I got it. Did you get your pass to piss in the woods? Doug's like, wait a minute, is that real?
I don't need no fucking pass to piss in the woods. I'm gonna do that regardless.
It's getting so out of hand. Like, and for what? Like they're gonna unbury our huge deficit by taxing
Taxing us to death, dude.
until everyone leaves the state.
Dude, they bump 300% increase in property taxes from 1 to 3%.
I know, dude. I mean, we're already getting completely raped
Dude,
in
I'm
property taxes.
So when I pay my house off, I'm gonna still owe a mortgage payment every month, thousands of dollars because of property taxes. Yeah,
Crazy.
and 3% on 3% on 3% on 3%. You do the math, dude. It gets big real quick. And it's like, when are we finally gonna be like, all right, tea's going in the harbor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I'm sick of this shit.
we just talked about that on the last podcast.
Dude, I'm just so sick of getting taxed to death. I get taxed on the money I make.
Bear country. They started a revolution.
I get taxed on the money
Shit,
I
I
spend.
mean, if it's gonna be anybody, why not be us?
I get taxed in this house. I'm paying taxes on these lights right now.
Yeah, and then you got like all the taxes that for the gasoline, because we were one of the first states to do the greenhouse gas tax.
Oh,
and,
dude, the carbon tax.
yeah,
dude.
the carbon tax,
Oh,
and
my
then they're
God.
talking about doing another 6 cents tax on gas
Dude, it wouldn't surprise me a bit.
on top of the tax that we already get, like extra, the greenhouse tax, and like
So
we're
Well, it's
already
because
paying.
it's because they lost all this money because they wanted to go EV. So
Yeah.
they're losing all this
Well,
money
now-
on the gas tax.
Well,
so they
now we're
gotta
keying
raise
all
it
the EVs and lighting them on fire.
dude, that's so funny, by the way.
up.
Speaking,
They're like shooting their own foot. It's hilarious.
who's a Canadian guy? Barbell bourbon barbecue.
Oh, barbecue, bourbon and barbells.
Yeah, I love that guy, by the way. So
Yeah, me too.
He's a Canadian guy. I got a bunch of Canadian hilarious friends. There's a guy I follow, and it's like, I think his name's Ben Bacchus, and he's a kind of a chubby comedian guy, and he does this hilarious, funny Asian accent because the mayor of Ontario is this Chinese lady,
Okay.
but he talks, he's like serious, like, because he talks about like all the politics, and she made a rain tax.
A rain? Well,
A
what?
rain. She's like, because like it rained too much, and like something. Long story short, like when it rains, people get taxed. I'm like, what? And it's like there was this, and I like Googled it, and it was a real thing in Ontario. There's like a rain tax.
How?
I'm like, wait, what?
That
How is this?
wild?
Yeah, and who knows? It was on the internet, and everything on the internet's true. So, but I was just like,
Is
dude,
it? It must be to fight the pollution because when it over rains, you have an over amount of water that goes through your storm system, and you're washing all the pollution off the roads and this and that. So it's just some liberal thing, I'm sure.
dude, I was just like, what are we gonna get taxed on next?
I don't know. I think that is where barbecue, bourbon and barbells lives.
Is he
in
Ontario? Probably next to Drake or something.
I'm not sure. I wonder if he listens to our podcast. I'm not going to say his name because he tries to keep that hidden because he's a big time influencer. But
I like him though.
he did the voiceover on our intro to A Bear Hunter's Life.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
He's got a very deep,
Yeah.
like sexy,
Yes, he does.
like
Yes, he
steak.
does.
It's what's for dinner.
Yeah.
Like that guy. And so, but yeah, he's actually like pretty cool for a Canadian, especially.
We might have to just
Pretty cool for Canadian.
pretty cool for Canadian.
And
pretty
the
fly-
the
pretty
rivets
fly
are
for a chick.
the rivets
Eh?
are cool too.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
Yeah.
A, right? How about that? Rivets, A.
Dude.
Don't you know
Don't you know?
the
So,
walkabout?
Josh, tell me about your banquet. So this is your first time putting a banquet on.
First time banquet. Yep, it's down there in Mukilteo at the Rose Hill Community Center.
Okay.
So
What day?
May 16th.
May
5 o'clock,
16th.
Yep. Tickets still on sale. Tables are still on sale.
Okay.
Where would I go to buy one of those?
We have our Facebook page with the QR code on there, or they
Okay.
can reach out to me. All the information's on the Facebook page, or
Okay.
Delta Waterfowl website has it all on there.
So if I go to like deltawaterfowl.com or something.
Yep,
like that.
deltawaterfowl.com.
Google
or
it. Talking to my chat GPT.
North Sound chapter, Delta Waterfowl on
Okay.
Facebook. We'll have tables for sale through probably the end of next week.
Okay.
But tables come with guns, so we got to get those ordered up ahead of time.
Who doesn't like guns?
Tables
Right.
come with guns?
Yeah, so we got our $1,500 table. There's one gun comes with that table.
okay.
I believe it's a Winchester pump. Then it goes up. Like we got another table, a $2,500 table. I believe there's 4 guns come. We got a
Four?
$6,000 table. Comes 8 guns. Everybody at the table will get a gun, or we'll get you a Barrett 50 cal for that. So
Wow.
yeah, at the $6,000 table.
Can
we'll
I just
definitely
buy a
work
table
with
and
you.
sit there by
You know
myself?
what?
Absolutely.
Chris, do you
Take
feel
'em all.
Do you feel a little ripped off? Like you always buy tables. You never get a free gun for
No.
buying a table.
No, never.
What
you
a
know
cool
what?
event.
I'm going to back this up, and I'm not going to throw them under the bus, but I'm going to throw them under the bus. When a friend of ours that we know was running the Mule Deer Foundation banquet, I went to that. I bought a table that came with a gun. And the Mule Deer Foundation, if you're watching this, you little stinkers, because I followed up multiple times. They never sent me my gun.
Really?
Yeah.
That is
never
wild.
sent me. Multiple times followed up. Oh, we'll get it to you, Chris. Send me your FFL. You got it. Here's my FFL.
That's terrible.
Little stinkers. I know.
You know what? Let's go after it again.
I'm a big fan of the Mule Deer Foundation.
When was this?
Yeah,
What
because
year?
you're a mule deer hunting son of a bitch, aren't you?
I could go back in my pictures because I literally left the hospital because Gloria had dropped a bowl in the living
Yeah.
room and stepped on it, and cut her foot.
Okay.
So we had to take her. She's just a little kid.
You
She's probably
left the hospital. You're like, I got to get there to get my gun.
Oh, I was like, I bought this table. All the guys are there, and my wife's like, just, she went and got some stitches in her
Yeah.
foot, and it was traumatic for me. I'm not gonna lie, like, dude, it was terrible. Like the
Yeah.
very first time I ever brought her to the hospital.
Oh,
so
yeah.
luckily, with Dawn obviously being a doctor, she called in. Brent Thiel was there working at the hospital at the time, good buddy of ours, who's an orthopedic surgeon, came and helped and stitched her foot up. Holy shit, it was traumatic though, dude. I'm such a pussy.
Did you pass out?
No, I was so just like having your little girl cry. I was just like,
Yeah.
You're a mess.
I was totally a mess. And I'm watching everyone. They're like, oh, she's fine. I'm like, don't fucking tell me she's fine.
Don't tell me she's fine. Don't touch her. It's hurting her.
The blood is supposed to be on the inside of her body, And I didn't do well with that. I'm not gonna lie. But it was so she gets stitched up. She's fine. I'm like, okay, what do we do? Dawn's like, just go. So I'm like, all right. So I go. I bought all sorts of shit. Donnie, was it Don? Kesselring.
Oh yeah.
After
Yep.
Kesselring shut down, they had his magazine collection there. I don't even remember what magazine it was.
Magazine collection.
Yeah, so he had every magazine from I don't know, it was a shooting magazine, or I don't even remember what it was, but he had every one from 1940 on, right? And
Really?
it had his name on it from Kesselring's. I thought, oh man, that's cool because they're an icon, right?
Yeah.
And so I bought that. Dude, it was like a freaking guy came out with a pallet jack of all these boxes with all these magazines.
You bought it?
I bought them all, yeah.
What the hell did you do with them?
They were in the gun shop forever. I don't know. Elaine moved everything around. I don't even know where they're at now. But I just thought it would be cool to have Kesselring's magazines out.
Probably ended up in your bonfire pile.
Better not. I paid a lot of money for those.
She's like, you got to get rid of all this old trash. These are old subscriptions.
Right. But I just thought, how cool is that? I like old stuff. I like old people and I like old things. Old guns.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So.
What a random thing to buy.
I know.
Someone's old magazine collection.
Old magazine collection.
I don't know. I have a bunch of old Western magazines, from like the early 1900s. You know, like they got like the hand drawn stuff on, and then you open them up, and you're like a handmade saddle. It's like $25,
Right?
And you're like, holy shit! It's like I feel like we're getting ripped off so much nowadays.
Right.
Like you could get like it was like order a mule. Like a live animal mule for like $50.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm like, man, these are cool. So I kept a bunch of those.
Yeah.
Western, I think it's like Western Horseman magazine or something like that.
I think I still have. I gotta have. I bet you they're up in storage with the rest of the boxes. But I'm sure I still have those. I'll have to
random shit you got.
Oh, dude, I have so much shit. I know. I'm sorry. I'm a packer. I'm a father's son. I can't help it.
Yeah. Well, we all have a problem, dude. I have so much shit. I got all my old hunting clothes, even still from like when I first started. And like since then, we've received a lot of gear.
Right.
You know? And so like I should get rid of it, but I feel like a certain type of way about it.
Dude.
Like I can't do it.
I feel like that's kind of like what it is with all the stuff that's at the cabin.
Oh,
like
yeah.
There's an old record player at the cabin.
Exactly.
Speakers.
Well, dude,
like
so you can imagine.
Cassette player.
At one point, I had 3 different houses equipped with all kinds of random shit.
I'm pretty sure you probably just took whatever the stuff that you didn't want and you took it to the cabin. Oh, this is where this is gonna go.
That's kind of exactly what happened. But I had stuff that I'd been saving since like a teenage years.
Yeah.
That's like someday this is gonna go in the cabin.
Yeah.
And like, cause in my head I thought, okay, someday I'll have a hunting cabin. And so I hoarded it, and Tiffany gave me shit all the time. Like, why don't you get rid of this stuff? Why don't you go donate it or whatever? I'm like, no, that's going in my future cabin. And then finally, when I got the cabin, I was like, taking all this shit to the cabin. It's not even completed, just taking it all there. So.
Well, I knew Josh was coming, so I cleaned up. I had my hunting closet. I took everything out. Took everything out of every tote.
I was going to say, it looks a lot cleaner than the last podcast.
Dude, there was shit everywhere. Cliff came down here. So his son, his 16-year-old son, is the same exact size as me now. Much fitter, obviously, but like he's a giant man. And I had the big black garbage bags, you know, that would like fit in a 55-gallon drum.
Yeah.
Completely packed full of just hunting shit, gear and freaking long underwear and pants and shirts and coats and hats and all. Here, take this. Your kid is suited up. He's suited and booted for the rest of his life. Here you go. Take all this shit. Cliff's like,
Nice.
thanks, dude. Like, yeah. So
Whether he fits in half of it, who knows?
yeah, I'm like, oh well, a lot of it was extra large too. And I don't fit in an extra large anymore. So I was like, yeah, dude, this is perfect. Here you go.
You were extra large at one point?
Yeah. When I was like 8, I think 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
I feel you.
Yeah. I feel you, Doug.
Yeah.
But back to this Barrett. So
Right?
if I spend $6,000,
That was a long roundabout.
I know.
That's how we roll.
Yeah, it's called a weave, Josh. This is called a weave, and then it comes back.
It works. It works.
So I'm going to go to deltawaterfowl.com or the Facebook page,
If you want the
Or
50
the
cal.
Facebook page.
and you can buy a table and get a 50 cal.
But
We
you
could do it tonight.
That's an expensive table, though, isn't it? Isn't that like
Don't
the,
tell Chris
that's
about
the
that.
top dog
You got
table.
him sold on Barrett 50 cal.
that's
Right?
that's the presidential suite of the Delta Waterfowl
Right? Yeah.
banquet.
You walk in
I feel
red
like if we
carpet.
all didn't have a bunch going on during that time, I feel like it'd be happening.
Oh
dude.
yeah, if we weren't going to Montana, I'd say let's go.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it sounds like a hangover waiting to happen. It's a good time.
Delta buys a lot of guns.
Do
they? Yeah, we get pretty good deals on guns. We
I
buy
like
quite
that.
a few. So it works out.
You
pretty
guys
good.
gonna do like some giveaway stuff too, probably, and then are you guys doing like an auction or?
We do. We got an auction. We got quite a few. Cantrell Outdoors donated some stuff for the auction. We got some hunts that donated. Some we got a Columbia River King salmon trip that's going up. I'll be we got some trips I'll be auctioning off. I'm not a guide, so I can't auction them as guided trips, but they'll be hosted trips. Probably
Okay.
some out here in the Sound for salmon. Definitely some lingcod trips up in the San Juans.
Because
Cool.
you have a boat, right, Josh?
Yep. Got a 23-foot Wellcraft. So.
Oh, nice.
Which I've been walking past the hunting trailer for the past 2 weeks thinking, okay, I need to pull everything out of this, organize it so I can take it down to storage, bring the boat home, get it ready.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, right. It's about that time of year.
yeah, the
Make
hunting
the
trailer.
switch over.
So that's a chore in itself.
Yeah.
But,
I'm sure.
yeah.
It creeps up fast. Like it feel like now it's already April. Like I felt like winter just kind of was here, and now it's spring.
Still here.
Yeah, it's always here in Washington
Yeah.
at some point. It's
Ain't gonna stop frickin' raining until June. It seems like every year.
Yeah, this has been a rough year for rain, dude.
Dude.
July 5th.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, no doubt. July 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool though if you can go to this banquet and you're listening, you should reach out and get a spot or go buy a table and get a gun.
Absolutely. And the more early single ticket sales we have, the more guns we have to give away too.
Really?
Yeah, I was gonna
Yep.
say you can buy single tickets, right?
Yeah. So
And how much are those?
they're $60 for a single, $100 for a couple, then $40 or $50 for veterans, and $40 for youth. So,
Okay.
Nice,
yeah.
nice.
So how many people can this event fit, I guess?
I believe 200. So
200,
we'll go up to
okay.
200.
So it's not going to be like super giant, but it'll be nice and intimate and
Yeah. That's first year chapter. We didn't want to swing for the fences. We
Yeah.
wanted to make sure, we kept it reasonable. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going pretty good so far. So
what
Sounds like a lot of incentive to want to go.
I know. I'm like, it's like not going to be huge, but there's going to be a lot of giveaway stuff. And then there's also going to be getting prizes for having a table, which that's the first time I've ever heard of someone
Yeah.
like locally, like locals. I've heard of like some of the big events doing that kind of a thing for some of the high dollar tables.
yeah.
But this is the first time I've ever heard of like a local chapter event doing something where you could buy a table and get a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, even as some of us chapter guys, we're buying a table. We don't have to. I mean, we get free tickets, but it's a good cause. So 4 of us are going in. We're gonna pitch in on the $1,500 table for us and our wives, and then we'll get a gun and we'll do a drawing amongst ourselves. See who gets the gun. So
And so, what does that money get spent on? Like, you guys. Hopefully, the goal is to raise a bunch of money.
yeah, see, that's one of the great things about Delta is so. We're raising the money for Delta, and, conservation and ducks. But the nice thing about Delta is they'll give 25% back to the chapter for us to put back into our community locally.
Okay.
So that's one of the
That's a big
exciting
deal.
things. Yeah, we get to put the money back in locally how we choose.
Okay.
So right now we're looking at a lot of youth hunts, veteran hunts.
I like that.
Yeah, trying to bring in the next generation.
Yeah.
Keep it going. We hosted a UW hunt this year for the biology students coming out of the UW. They're going to be going to work for the Fish and Game. They had never shot a gun before. We took them out Friday night.
Really?
Twin City Sportsman's down here. Taught them how to shoot a shotgun. Took them out Saturday, and they shot 14 ducks. They cooked them. They cleaned them. It was pretty great.
Oh, that's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good to introduce them. Like, those are the people you want to be hunters. And if they're not, like, if you can recruit them to be a hunter and understand it a little bit more,
Yeah.
that's what we need.
Well, even if, they're never going to go buy a hunt license to hunt again, at least they got to see our side of it and why we do it and where we're coming from with it,
Exactly.
And, I mean, that was huge, and we got to see that in them. I mean, one of the gals was a vegetarian.
Really?
Yeah, and she pretty much went bird for bird with me in that blind that day.
Really?
She was a savage when it came to that 20 gauge.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it was great. She didn't eat them, but she hadn't ate meat in 12 years. She was worried about getting sick. But I seen it in her eyes. She wanted to eat that duck.
Okay.
We we took them back. We hunted just off a Big Ditch down here.
Okay.
And the field's just north of Big Ditch. So then we went over to the Big Ditch parking lot and brought the Blackstone out and cooked up duck fajitas for them out there. And like I said, I seen her want to eat them. She was worried though.
That sounds
awesome.
really good.
Yeah.
It's
I
funny.
could rock a duck fajita right now.
Oh yeah.
Well, they were tasty.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So,
Well, growing up, I shot a ton of ducks, tons and tons of ducks.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how I grew up. Was I started off like that was the main thing was
Yeah.
duck hunting
Well,
and
and-
bird hunting in general.
Even me and Doug duck hunted together when we were young, even.
Oh yeah.
And we did. We
Hammered the sound
Mm-hmm.
over the years.
And we used to have a lot more different varieties of ducks. You know, like we used to have a ton of teal back when we were younger.
Yeah, there
And
was
now
a,
there's
there was
just
a,
not
there
as
was a,
many around as there used to be.
there
but-
was a lot more birds too.
Yeah, but
I think when
it's
we were
still
younger.
there's still a decent amount of birds around.
Yeah.
But the way I used to do it is, I would like overcook duck, like extremely overcook it.
Yeah.
And I always thought, man, they don't taste that good.
Yeah.
And so then I got to the point where I would just save up I would debreast them and I would save up a ton throughout the year.
Take them to John.
And then, yeah, exactly. I would take them either to John or like, back then I used to take it to Sylvana Meats.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And do a bunch of duckaroni.
That's what we would
You
do.
know?
yeah.
And we'd do like jalapeno duckaroni or just regular
Makes
pepperoni.
great pepperoni.
Yeah.
Super good.
But in recent years, I've kind of like reignited my passion of bird hunting because I've done it, quite a bit in the last couple of years. Not a ton, but I started watching some more cooking stuff on it, and I started cooking my duck like a more medium rare, like right between rare and medium rare, and seasoning it right. And honestly, like if you do it right and you don't overcook it, it tastes almost like just like a venison steak.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I've really enjoyed it. And even my kids, my wife and my kids probably can't tell the difference.
You see my face, Doug.
That's because you haven't done it yet, and I'm going to prove it to you next.
Okay. All right.
I will prove it to you.
I've-
Have I ever lied to you about food?
You were probably
No.
eating them shit slew ducks. That's
Yeah.
probably
Yeah,
why.
you know what?
To be fair,
those
I've-
Marysville guys shooting
Yeah.
those shit
The
pond
shit
ducks.
pond ducks. Yeah.
I have killed 10 million ducks in,
10 million
in
ducks.
Stanwood. There was no limit back when I was in high school.
There was a pond
oh man.
back along the highway that I used to hunt that was always had these big things bubbling out of the middle of them.
So we had a spot.
It was always corn-filled ducks.
It was Conway. We'd go hunting in Conway at my buddy's duck shack, and you could kill as many. We'd go up to Holiday Sports because Skagit Arms wasn't there yet, and you buy a flat of shells for like $3. And you would just go shoot until you ran out of your flat. And that's how many ducks you killed and how many snow geese you killed. Because holy shit, there was a lot of snow geese back in the day. I mean, there's a lot of snow geese now. Mm-hmm. But, dude, back when I was in high school, back in the 1900s,
The 1900s.
bro, let me tell you.
This was back before there was any regulations.
I'd roll out there with my punt gun.
take your
and,
mule,
Punt gun.
you take your mule and your wagon down
my
there.
mule and my wagon by candlelight with my punt gun and my John boat.
With the 2 gauge.
Dude,
With my hand carved out wooden canoe that I
Yeah.
got off an old Navajo.
I still have my Browning BPS 12 gauge that my dad bought me at Castle Rings when I don't know how old I was. I wasn't old enough to buy the gun, obviously, but yeah, it rode in the back of my Ford Ranger in high school, and I'd go blast ducks before school, and after school I'd go blast more ducks. And
Yeah, that's what we did too. I'd always be late to my first period class because I would be trying to scurry out of the field or pond or whatever.
just showing up muddy and
Oh, dude, always. Always.
there's one more ditch I can check before I go
Yeah.
jump this
Yeah.
ditch real quick.
Yeah,
school.
that's exactly what it was. It was a lot of
Jumping
jumping
ditches.
ditches
Yeah.
or like, if we were really ambitious, we'd get up in the dark and like go put our spread out, and then we'd be like, okay, if we can limit out in like the first 45 minutes, we can make it to school, like,
Right.
That's never the case.
No, never. And then we always end up pushing, oh, we got to get a couple more birds.
A couple more.
But back then it was like you could limit out in like an hour if it was a decent day.
Yeah.
But
Oh, for sure.
yeah, we did
100%.
a lot. I mean, a lot of them were teal. You get like these little tiny breasts off them like this, but they were tasty. I think teal is one of the best eaten ducks, honestly.
What's your favorite duck, Josh?
Mallard.
Mallard.
Yeah.
Good old mallard.
Pintail eat good. Widgeon, I like shooting widgeon, but I don't like eating widgeon. I try not to shoot them. If they do, they go straight to Jones.
Okay.
They're hot links all day long.
Yeah.
So, snow geese, like I have to say, the big honkers, they're definitely my favorite of them to shoot. But I'll eat the snow geese any day over the honkers.
Snow goose tastes good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like eating snow goose.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, and you get a little bit like you feel like you get more off of a goose, right? Like because their breasts are way bigger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, even like a good sized mallard, you feel like okay, you got something out of
big
it.
old fat green head.
You're
just
talking
like,
about like
yeah.
widgeon breasts, like they're not super big, they're not real thick either. Like a mallard might have a deeper piece of meat, you know. And then a teal, you're like, okay, I got like 4 bites maybe.
depending
Maybe
on where
one, depending on who you are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
depending on
if
what
you're
shooting
Doug,
with,
if
yeah.
you're Doug, there's
it's a
one
one
bite
bite.
for each side.
Yeah.
So, but no, mallard and pintail, they're about the, occasionally I'll come home with one that's nothing but a headshot and wrap it in bacon. I'll cook it up and
Ooh,
eat
yeah.
it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Oh man, that's
Just
good.
about anything wrapped in bacon's good.
right.
Well, have you tried doing it with the skin on, too? And like I seen Meat Eater doing that, and a couple other people doing it. Seems like a lot of damn work, though.
I've tried to pluck a couple. See, okay, one of my big things getting into waterfowl was I wanted to shoot a Christmas goose.
Mm-hmm.
Went down on Christmas Eve one day and I shot my snow goose. I was excited. I was going to cook Christmas goose.
Okay.
I got that thing about 80% plucked and tore it.
You're just like, forget it.
Gave up and breasted it. Still to this day, I've never successfully plucked a duck or a goose.
Okay.
I'm going to, though.
I think, did you try blanching it first, though?
I didn't.
I think that's the key, probably, is like dipping them
In hot water.
hot boiling water.
Yeah.
I think it's like 15 seconds or something like that, and then you pull them out and then just get all those feathers off a lot easier.
Well, and I got a pretty impressive plucker.
Chris is like, I'm not doing that.
No.
Yeah.
Deep-breasted.
I think I've been hunting ducks, since I was 9 years old. I don't think I've ever fully plucked a duck or
Dude,
goose.
I've started.
Neither have I,
I've
Doug.
started.
Yeah. Yep,
I think we tried.
I've tried.
I think
a
I
handful
watched
of
my
times.
dad do it, and I was like, nope. Just
Well,
cut them open, cut the breasts out.
I remember one time your dad plucked like a bunch of geese, and then he took them and he got them smoked whole.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking
that
about.
was a lot of damn work
Yeah.
and a lot of patience.
Yeah, I don't know how he did it. That was probably the last time he probably ever did anything like that.
He was like, it was
Hell
too
no.
much. It was too much.
I don't think it was that good either.
I don't remember.
It was. I'm pretty sure I remember the geese that we did that with, and I'm pretty sure that didn't turn out that great.
It didn't turn out that
No.
good.
This is going to be the year, though. Our regional director gave me, it's a big old plucker. I mean, it probably stands 3 feet high. But it makes a hell of a mess. And there was no way the wife was going to tolerate that, and there was no way I was going to try to clean it up.
Yeah.
Well, this morning I found a place that has like a shed that I could just stick it in, and I could run the plucker right in that shed to contain all the feathers. So this is going to be the year that I finally pluck a goose.
Well, we'll hide and watch.
Perfect.
All right.
We'll hide and watch.
You let me know how that goes.
I guess they even got a vacuum system in there, so I'm going to pluck a goose
I'm
this
curious though, like how a wild goose cooks as like a Christmas goose.
year. Yeah,
I'm curious
I'm curious
because
too.
I've never done it either.
Yeah.
I've never done the whole Christmas goose thing,
Right. Yeah.
But it's been on my list of things to try.
Right.
But I don't know.
I don't know. I've eaten a lot of purple breasts out of goose, and it's not. I don't know, man.
Oh, believe me, it won't be the only thing going on the table. The wife will never buy that.
Oh yeah, I can change your mind though. I guarantee it.
It's like
You'd be
this-
surprised some of them.
This
like,
is the same conversation I have with to bring up Matt Russell again. I'm over at his house when he bought that new place in Idaho, and he gives me here, you got to try this tequila. And I'm like, I'm not a tequila guy, dude. I don't like it. I got hammered in Mexico and like projectile vomited 37 blocks.
You had that one bad
That one
bad night.
and still that was, dude, that was 30 years ago. And I'm like, no.
Just can't do it.
No, but trust me, Chris. Trust me. It's different. this is different tequila.
This is the one.
And so I'm already half hammered, and I'm like, yeah, sure, because he will not let up. And I'm like, sure, I'll try it. And I tried it. I'm like, guess what? This tastes like fucking tequila. Terrible.
Terrible.
Because it's tequila, right?
Yeah.
And I get it. Like, I have a buddy who lives in Phoenix and is a like legitimate world-class chef. Like, has cooked for every billionaire. He was a Arizona Cardinals chef. He had a job here at like the highest fancy, the Michelin restaurants, right? The best. And he cooks it's not bad. I'm not saying like it's bad.
Cooked what? Duck? Or
Yeah,
goose?
yeah. And it's like in the best of the finest of things, and it's just the taste. And don't get me wrong, like you can wrap shit and stuff and make it taste, but like if you give me an elk steak, I will eat that every day of the week. Mm-hmm. Or like a blueberry bear steak every day of the week. Any whitetail or blacktail steak, and even that mule deer that I shot in Montana, dude, shockingly good.
Really?
Shockingly good.
Was it a mule deer in sagebrush area, or was it like
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
It's just all sagebrush, and I shot it in the end of November.
all rut it out?
Yeah, it was 1 buck and like 16 does. And I thought, oh, he's gonna be
Give me a little ruddy.
dude, super good. Surprisingly good. And I did a really rough grind on my burger this year, and so it's like almost like eating steak,
Yeah, how is that, by the way?
I love it. Dawn hates it.
Really?
Hates it.
Really?
Yeah. She's like, I have to chew it so much. I'm like, yeah, it's like steaky, It's good. She's not having it.
Good.
She's not having
I
it.
was wondering because I came over and helped you, and I was like, "This is a pretty rough grind." But
Dude, I love it so much.
I'm like, if I tell Chris we need to grind it again, this is gonna take another 5 hours.
no. Well, I'll usually grind it twice, or I'll use the finer blade, and I use the bigger hole, the rough one.
Yeah.
I really like it.
Okay.
It's almost like
So
super.
you like it rough?
Yeah, I like it real rough.
Real rough. I was just thinking about that, Jim. It was like, we're gonna go on the spring bear hunt, dude. We're gonna have like 2 or 3 days of rendering bear fat and shit.
I know,
'cause
dude.
we
still
have the fall
I
bears
have
to do.
half of my freezer is still full of raw bear fat that needs to be rendered, and you have like 100 pounds of it.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
I know. One of these days,
days.
we need to do some stuff. We need to make some soap.
I don't have any bear fat to render.
It's a good problem to have, though.
Yeah.
You made up for it the year before, Chris.
Yeah, you
I
did.
I only shoot skinny bears.
Skinny bears?
I shoot
like the one behind you?
I shoot Ozempic bears. That's an 8-footer. What are you talking about?
That's an Ozempic bear.
Ozempic bear. That's classic.
What is that bear on Ozempic?
That was I shot that bear in Alaska. It's my first Alaskan bear.
Probably eating fish, probably full of worms. It wasn't. That's nature's Ozempic. It's
Dude.
all the worms.
I should have known.
That's weird. How do they get worms from eating fish?
Well, because they eat the rotten fish. Like
oh,
when they're
yeah. I guess that makes
decomposing and
sense.
stuff.
Yeah. And they eat the rotten stuff.
Dude,
Yeah.
when they show the videos of the bears walking with the tapeworms, they're like 15 feet out its butthole.
Oh,
You're like,
dude,
good
it's
lord.
so
dude,
gross.
that's so
How do
weird.
they not just like step on it and pull it out?
I'm telling you right now, that bear could be an 8-foot bear. If it has those big worms hanging out its butthole, dude,
I'm not touching it.
I would pass.
I wanted to ask you, James, you just got back from a little show that we heard about on the internets.
Oh yeah,
Tell me about that.
Yeah, he's been saving the juicy, juicy story.
You guys are gonna need to put your seatbelts on. Because
So there you were.
So, I'm not gonna get too specific about what I was doing there or how this all played out, but I will tell you the story.
Okay.
So
You were James Forsland there with Bear Country Outdoors.
yeah, sure.
That's what you were doing.
He was a dancing girl.
Yeah.
He was in a cage up in the ceiling.
So it was the Vancouver Outdoor Expo is the name of this show.
In Vancouver, Washington.
No,
Yes.
it wasn't in Vancouver. It was it was north of Vancouver in like whatever one of these outskirts towns is. It was at the Clark County Fairgrounds, right?
Okay.
So it wasn't actually in Vancouver.
But
So
not BC.
they're gonna use Vancouver. Yeah,
they're
whatever.
using
Not
Vancouver because
yeah.
that's the biggest city there.
Okay, all right.
Proceed. So I got to give you guys like a good picture of this to make it really sink in.
Okay.
So I get down there. It's Friday. I was there for all 3 days.
Okay.
Friday, I got there Thursday night and then went to the show first thing.
Okay.
I get to the show. It's packed. Like there is almost 600 vendors there. And you can imagine like all in one building.
So what is packed? Packed with people?
With vendors.
With vendors.
Booths. And there's people, like there's outfitters from all over the world. There's tons of outfitters from Canada, from like northern BC. We got Alaska, Yukon outfitters. Ooh. We got your buddies from Critter Cove.
Oh, what up, Cameron? Critter Cove.
He'll probably start listening to the podcast because I got a funny story about that too.
Great dude.
Also, there was like tons of food vendors there too, as well from all over the country, not from Washington.
What?
Yes, which I'll get more into that here later.
I love food.
And so there's like all these vendors, and there's like some big name companies. There's like, like Vortex was supposed to be there, but they weren't. Is it Zeiss or Zeus? Or Zeiss?
Or
Zeiss.
Zeiss?
Yeah.
I don't know. I only know Leopold because that's the only one that matters.
Amen, brother.
Then there was a
Gold ring.
couple other like big name companies there, and like I think Onyx was there, and like Silencer Central. Like there's big name companies there. Caribou Gear's there.
Right.
And we're there in the morning, and they do like the national anthem, and like, okay, everybody, let's get the show going.
Right.
And they open the doors, and like maybe 30 people walk in.
Oh shit.
At opening. And it's like,
for 600 vendors, that doesn't sound right.
No. So now we're going, that's weird. So as the day progresses, I would say maybe, like this is just my personal opinion, but I don't know what the actual number was, but I would say I would have thought maybe 200 people came into that show.
Oh shit.
On Friday. And so you can imagine there are a lot of people there starts to become a buzz.
Okay.
Like what's going on
between
here?
the vendors.
Between the vendors,
okay.
Yeah. And so but we think, maybe it's Friday.
Yeah.
It's Friday, maybe the evening will pick up. It never did. It died down in the evening.
Oh no.
So then it gets even worse. But there was like these giveaways. So they had a mechanical bowl and a rock climb wall and stuff off in one corner, and you could enter this giveaway. It was like a $65,000 prize pack. It was like a fully guided special unit Utah bull elk hunt from one of the outfitters that was donated. Then all of these prizes, like Yeti coolers and it was Grizzly coolers. There was like some optics sponsorship and like all these different prizes donated from all the vendors to this giveaway, which I'm sure the guy worked into a deal, right?
Yeah.
So they had like a 1 through 4 place prize pack, but the top prize was like the Utah elk hunt, like a bunch of stuff, right? Well, on Friday they were going to do a 3-day thing. Each day they would have like the top 10 riders would move on to the next day. Mm-hmm. And so the top 10 riders from Friday and Saturday would go on to the finals on Sunday, which then they would do like whoever had the longest time on this mechanical bull, which it's kind of a weird giveaway, but whatever.
Right.
Because really only badass cowboys or someone who knows what they're doing is going to win. So
I'm sure Jim was like, oh, let me on the bull. Woo!
No, dude, I didn't do it because I thought that I was going to be leaving on Sunday, and I was like, I'm not even going to be here for the final day. Mm-hmm. So then so the first day they only had 12 people do the mechanical bull for the prize pack for a $65,000 prize pack.
Oh my God.
12 people. So then
shit, I should have done it.
Yeah, you could have came down and probably been in the top 4 at least.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah. And so now comes Saturday. It's day 2. And this is where things really get interesting. So they open it up, and like people come in, and at one point maybe there might have been maybe 1,000 people at most. I mean, at the very most, but I would say more likely it was probably more like 600 or 700 people, maybe. And I think that's being generous. It could have even been as low as 500.
Okay.
And this is throughout the whole day. And it opened at, I think it was 9 a.m. and went till 8 p.m.
Oh, shit. Late one.
Yeah, Friday it was 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. And Sunday was supposed to be 9 a.m. to 4 or 5 p.m. or something like that.
Those are long
remember.
days.
They were really long days
Right.
for a show. And so just to add like a little bit more context to this, they had brought in all these celebrity people. So like Hannah Barron, big catfish noodler from the South, she's a super nice girl, and her boyfriend were there. Driven, I think it was Pat Nicole from Driven, Hunter, that they flew in. Nick Munt from Bone Collector was there.
Yeah.
And then there was Melissa Bachman. From her show was there. And so they had all these celebrities there. And the guy had said, like, hey, come on down to this show, and we'll we're not going to cover all your expenses here, but like we're going to cut you a check at the end, right?
Right.
So we're getting into day 2, they open up and like there's no one showing up. Now there's a real buzz going on. People are like, what the hell is going on? And this is where all the vendors start talking to each other. Like, what is happening? And it come to find out that this dude named Shane, who put this show on, he had promised all these people. He had basically hounded everyone. Everyone's like had the same story. Yeah, he just hounded me. He hounded me for days or weeks trying to get me to come to the show, and then promised us that he said, we sold 50,000 tickets, pre-sold tickets for this show. Like, it's going to be packed. In fact, and he was like, some people said even like, he told them that there was elaborate stories about like, I'm already getting hounded by like the fire marshal. Like, we're going to be way overpopulated in the building, and they're really worried about it. And so I might have to stop pre-selling tickets for the event. Yeah. And but he didn't just tell like 1, 2, 3 vendors. He told everyone. Everyone had the same story. Dude. And so now we're going, what the hell? So now it comes down to like probably 2/3 of the way through Saturday. And you're talking about outfitters from the deep cowboy country. You're talking about cowboy ass guys. They're getting pissed. And there's dudes that are like, some of these guys are 10 grand, 15 grand into this
I saw one guy
deal.
was 20 grand, yeah. I saw a video about it,
yeah. So that guy
from Texas, right?
From Texas, he had this big, it's like the big hunting blinds, but they're like up on like a giant stand kind of thing, like they do in Texas. Mm-hmm. The guy had told him, "Hey, you come up here, dude. It's gonna be so good. Like we got 50,000 sold. Like you'll probably sell. I would say minimum, you'll sell at least 10 of these big blinds, And the guy's like, all right, man, like, he spent all this money to get all of his stuff up here. These are huge things, by the way. Like, they're size of like a treehouse.
Yeah,
put up on a big stand thing.
You gotta have a big, like 50-foot cargo trailer, basically.
Yeah, and you gotta have like a forklift to build it, like kind of thing, Mm-hmm. Like it's not something that's, and like you can't take it down very easily either, once it's built. And so he said, yeah, man, I'll come up here, but like, I need a guarantee. And he's like, dude, if you don't sell the ones that you bring up for display, I'll buy one and my buddy will buy the other one. Because he had 2 of them, right? Right. So, and I think that booth space was like at least like $4,000. And so he gets this guy to come up here. Well, we'll come back to that at a certain point. I feel like I'm jumping ahead of my story here. So then Saturday comes, later in the day, and there's all this buzz, and these outfitters are getting pissed. And there was like at one point, this young guy that I met, great guy. In fact, I might book a moose hunt with him. He's up from like northern BC.
Right.
Big dude. And he's like probably like in his mid-20s. He's got a big cowboy hat on and stuff, chewing his lip, you know. He's like, he went up to him and was like, I'm going to make you eat your teeth or something like that. I'm going to knock your teeth in. And the sheriffs were there too, because they had a booth there for Clark County Sheriff.
Oh, shit.
And so they broke it up and like, he's like, it ain't worth going to jail. I got to get back over the border, you know, like,
Right.
So like it got very heated. Then that Shane guy went and locked himself in his office. He would not come out.
So the guy who set everything up.
Shane, I can't remember his last name. It starts with a B.
But he's out there.
Yeah.
And the cowboy's gonna beat his ass.
Oh yeah, he was dead serious too. Like, luckily the sheriffs happened to be right there with him, because that guy was starting to get scared because people were threatening him at that point. So now it's later in the evening on Saturday. People just start breaking down. They're breaking their booths down. Waste of time. They're done. They're pissed. The main sponsor, which is MOA, they break down and they leave. Then all the other ones like Zeus or whatever. Or
Zeiss,
yeah. We'll call him Zeus. Zeus starts
Partner, well, you call it whatever you want.
whatever
Jim.
the hell they are. I don't know. Zeus breaks down. Like all these other big companies break down. Like Silencer Central starts breaking down.
Wow.
Like all these big companies are just like, they're out. So I'd say at least almost half of the booths left Saturday night. There's still a full day of the show on Sunday. And so then at this point, the Shane guy had locked himself in the back office, and he just said, to hell with it. Like, people are threatening me. I'm out. He takes all the money from the registers and he bails and he leaves. And so now he leaves his whole crew there. All of his crew are volunteers. Like the main guy that we talked to, who was the DJ for the whole event, that was always on the microphone,
Right.
was the guy's karate instructor for his kids. So that guy would bring his kids to his place, and he convinced them to come down there and be the DJ.
What?
Yes. And he's like, I'm probably the only one here that's known Shane the longest, because all these other people that were there didn't really know him that well. And he's like, I've known him for only 2 years, and I just never imagined that he would pull this kind of stuff. Like he told us, and then right around that time, the guy from Texas is walking by. And he's, oh wait, no, I'm getting ahead of myself here in this story. I got to get my timeline right here. But everything's accurate up until the point where I'm talking to this guy, because I jumped ahead. So Shane takes the money, he runs.
Right.
He leaves, right? Now, the DJ guy is like, half of the people have already left. Like, the place is empty.
Oh, my gosh.
It's later in the day. There's still like 3 hours left in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's gone. There's no people that are not vendors there. Everyone there is vendors. And those, like, half of those people are packing up as we speak. And so the guy's like, fuck it, we're just going to do the giveaway now. Like, meet over at the Mechanical Bowl. And so, like, a handful of people go over there, and, like, the only people that signed up to ride were vendors, and they were all outfitters, all horse guys, you know.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So there's, like, and so I go over there, and I'm like, I'm going to watch this. Like, I want to watch this. So, like, all, like, Hannah Barron's over there, and, like, all the other celebrity people are over there. But it's all vendors. All the people that we've met and talked to this weekend, it's only that. And so then, like, a handful of the guys get on and they ride, and the one guy that won, like, he looked like he had definitely ridden some bulls before.
Right.
100%. And I was like, dang it, I should have signed up for this. I'll blow this guy out of the water. But he rode like 14 seconds or whatever, and that's what won it. Was like,
Really?
yeah. And so then, like,
Damn it, James.
so then it comes down to prize time, and the guy's like trying to give the prizes away. Someone cuts off the microphone, and it's like dead. And like the guy's like, what the hell? He's like, I'm trying to give away the prize, blah, blah, blah. And I go, well, where's the microphone? Where's the audio at? And he's like, there's a box up in the front, up by the front booth, and blah, blah, blah. I don't know if you can get to it. And I go, I can get to it. So I go up there and I find this thing, and it's often like a corner in this little area, and someone had shut it off, and no one knows who shut it off, but someone shut it off. And so I rebooted the whole thing. I turned it back on, plugged it in, turned it on, and then cranked it back up. It's like, meow, on the loudspeakers. I'm like, wait, turn it down, and got it. And then all of a sudden he's like, you got it, I'm back on. I'm like, yeah.
Give it away.
Let's give it away. Let's go. So then they do the prize giveaway, and at this point we're going, dude, everyone is so like pissed, and now people have Googled this guy, right? And they've like done some research, and everyone now it's the new things going around. Like, did you know that this guy's been accused of being a scam artist for over the years? Because I guess he was an outfitter, and like he would just like line people up with these elaborate like tales of this great hunt, and then they'd show up and they'd be like hunting in a trailer park, or like just like weird stuff, like just bizarre.
So this guy is basically the what is it? The fire festival of the hunting.
Yeah.
The hunting expos stuff. Yeah.
That's what people kept saying. I didn't know what that was, and then my wife tried to explain it to me. I'm like something about like a techno festival.
Same thing, and brought a whole bunch of people to an island.
What's a fire festival?
You'd have to look it up.
I don't know. If you know, you know, I guess. If you don't, then
Google fire festival and worms coming out of bears. Okay. All right.
And you're in for a hell of a fucking rabbit hole that you're gonna go down.
Okay. So now it's late night, and you know what? And we made some good relationships with some of these big influencers, which was great. So I don't consider that show to be a total loss,
Right.
But now we're talking to like Hannah Barron and like some of these other people, and we're like, are you guys getting like, did you guys get paid yet? And they're like, no, not yet. We were supposed to like stay the whole show and then get paid. And I'm like, you better go and find this guy before he bails and get paid. Mm-hmm. So I think she like went and cornered him and basically got it. Like, I think she was supposed to get paid all up front, but he's just like, oh, I can write you a check, and wrote like a handwritten.
Oh, that's getting bounced.
Yeah. And that's what I thought too. I was like, man, I sure hope that you guys didn't get just completely screwed.
Yeah.
And I would love to find out. I'm gonna probably send her a message and see if she actually got paid. But like some of the other people, like Melissa Bachman, she stayed the whole time till the very last. She said, I promised people I was going to be here from this time till the closing, and I'm going to stay true to that, and I don't care what happens, and if I get paid, I get paid. If I don't, whatever. I'm going to stick to my word. I told my fans that I was going to be here, and if there's like some young girl or someone who comes and I'm not here, and like I don't want that on my conscience,
Good for her.
Yeah, good for her.
She stayed the whole time. Pat and Nicole, they stayed pretty much till they were supposed to, and even and then the bone collector guy, Nick Muntz, he stayed the whole time. He was like the last one there because I think his flight was like super late or something. So he's like,
well, I'm here. I guess I'm gonna be at the show.
And he was trying to get paid till to the wire because it was the last day at the end, and he was like trying to get a hold of the guy, and the guy's like, oh yeah, like change the subject. He's like, no, I need to get paid. And the guy's like, well, I can't really come down there and blah blah blah, So I don't know how that all turned out either. I hope that he did. Nick, if you're not listening to this, which I know you're not, let me know. Leave a comment and tell me.
Win a T-shirt.
That'd be cool. Win a T-shirt.
Listen, Nick, I'll do you a favor. I'll send you a T-shirt if you comment. That's a joke. So let me get back to day 3. So now it's day 3. It's Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And everyone that's there is destroyed. I mean, just like totally defeated. People lost their whole livelihoods here. Like, we're not talking about like, oh, it was a little hit here and there. There was a dude that was brought in by Shane, recruited. Like, he told me like it was going to be so busy, and so he told me 50,000 people tickets were already sold, so we're planning for 50,000 people. He had a food truck, or it was like a sausage and something, like sausage and pickles and like something else. It was like some thing from the Ohio. Mm-hmm. He had 2 fridge trucks or freezer trucks, semi trucks, drive up from Ohio with a crew, and he had like 10 guys, I think.
Oh shit.
And he had to pay them and then like get them like hotel rooms and stuff.
Right.
And bring $50,000 worth of food up, and then sold like nothing. So now he's in the hole, like, and not to mention he had 2 booths, big booths, at the end of each building, or at the end of each side of the building, and that was $10,000.
Yeah, I bet
for
you
the booth
the
space.
food vendors definitely lost their
Oh,
ass.
they
because
lost their ass.
Yeah, because you can't recover that stuff. You know, outfitters or products that you use in the hunting industry. You can just sell later on, but food don't last that long.
Yeah, well, I mean, those guys are out travel expenses, wages, and everything. Because some of these outfitters were expecting 50,000 people, so they brought their owners were there. They brought their main guy, and they brought whatever their top guides were. So some of them were like 3, 4, 5 people, guides, at each outfitting booth because they were expecting to be so swamped that they were all going to have to be talking to people and booking hunts.
Right.
And so, I mean, there was multiple, I would say probably 85% or 90% of the outfitters probably didn't even book one hunt. So those guys are completely out expenses. And then, so Sunday comes, and like whoever hadn't taken down started taking down first thing in the morning. And now here's the funny part. So when that Shane guy left on Saturday and he took all the register money, he never came back. So they had no change or anything for any of the registers. They had no one to work the parking lots because apparently he didn't pay the parking lot attendants. So they didn't come back. There was no one there to like do parking. There was no one there to take tickets at the door. They just opened all the doors wide open and just like, if you want to come in,
if you want to come in,
if you want to come into this hellhole shit show, you come on in. It was like the Wild West. Like guides and like people are just walking around with whiskey bottles, just like no joke.
Really?
Like guys would go up and hijack the booth, like the sound booth, and get in there and be like, "Screw this guy, Shane is a fraud." And this is at the show, during the show, while people are walking around.
Really? Wow.
And like be like, "We're out. This is blah 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 with whatever outfitting, or whatever it was," and like hijack the booth. It was like, we all got scammed, and like, dude, just wild. And so then everyone's breaking down, and I'm not shitting you. It was supposed to close at 4:00. By 2:30, there was not one booth
left
at all. Jeez. We were one of the last ones that were like kind of left there.
Yeah.
And I think Revol Entertainment had a booth there too.
Yeah.
And he kind of stuck out longer than like anyone else too.
Right.
Because he's just like, at this point, he's just like, I'm here till this time. I'm enjoying the show. Like it wasn't the show. It was a show.
Right.
It was a shit show is what it sounds like.
I mean, absolutely wild. And so when I went over,
unfortunate.
Dude, when I went over and talked to the second day, on Saturday, they didn't have the registration for the bull riding thing. And so I went over there and I went up and I go, "Hey, I'm here to sign up for the bull riding thing," because I wanted to find out. I was like, "What's going on here?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Are you a vendor here?" He's like, "Do you know this guy?" I'm not going to be as colorful as he was.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "That guy is a piece of shit. He's a scumbag." He's like, "He convinced me to rent all this equipment. And he told me that there was going to be all these people here and that we were going to split the money from the prize money or whatever from people entering for the prizes."
Right.
He's like, "That's how I was going to get paid." Is like, he told me to rent all this equipment, bring it down, and that he would pay me out of that and we would split it. And so he's like, today, I'm like, "How many people have signed up today?" He's like, 2 people. Oh. He's like, "I've made $25.
Dang.
And he's just like, he's livid. He's hating this guy, right? And so I'm just like, that was day 2 on Saturday, like midday. And I'm just like, dude, this is going to be interesting. So if you are listening to this, apparently this guy has a couple other shows booked in our state, or is working with a couple other shows.
Dude, there's no way he's going to be able to make it to him.
No.
Someone's going to find him and freaking.
Well, there's a case open, so there's been a case filed with Clark County Sheriff's Office,
Really?
And the sheriffs were coming over and asking questions. That was another interesting thing. So you have to have like some sort of security for events this big.
Right.
So apparently this guy had gotten all these people from his church to do security, like random dudes, to do security from his church. And I don't think they really knew him. Dude, by the end, everyone had turned on this dude. Everyone. And the guy, so circling all the way back to that guy I was
Texas
talking about.
guy, yeah.
So the guy that was the karate instructor, we're talking to him, and he's telling us about Shane and about how he knew him. He's like, I don't really know him that well. Like I instruct his kids in karate class. I'm like, that's going to be awkward. I'm like, you're either never going to see those kids again, or it's going to be weird.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, and so I'm like, and so I'm telling him like, hey, this guy, like the tree stand guy, is saying that Shane told him that he was going to buy it. He's like, yeah. He's like, I was here early helping that guy put those stands together, and Shane came over and they talked about it, and he said, yeah, he'd buy them. And I'm like, well, he's saying he's not going to. And that guy comes walking by, and I'm like, didn't Shane tell you? And he's like, yeah, he told me, blah, blah, blah. He ain't answering his phone, and he ain't going to buy him now. And so that guy's like, he's like, I'm calling him right now. And so the guy calls him, and he's like, hey, man, I'm standing here with the guy with the tree stands, and you told him you were going to buy those tree stands. Are you going to buy the tree stands? And he's like, no, I'm not buying them. He changed the price. And he's like, I never changed the price. It's been the same the whole time. And he's like, hey, Shane, I was standing there with you, and this is how much you told him.
Right.
And he's like, no, I'm not doing it. And then hung up on him. And he's like, you could tell the guy was almost about to cry. The guy, that DJ guy.
Yeah.
Because everyone is going at him because he's the only guy
Yeah.
there. He actually isn't even the one doing it. He's just like trying to help vendors get out.
He's trying to diffuse the whole thing, and it's not even his shit show.
No, exactly.
He's just the one that's.
And at this point, he doesn't want to just
DJing
leave because like there's a lot of moving parts. Like there's locks on gates. There's like the big doors that need to be open for people to get out.
Right.
They weren't going to let anyone out. And so, yeah, I felt really bad for that Texas guy, dude. I really felt bad for him because he was trying to get anyone to buy it. I almost called you and was like, Chris, get down here. You're going to buy a giant tree stand and haul them home. And he would have given it to you at like bare minimum price, dude. But, yeah, dude, it was
that sucks.
Yeah. So then he goes, well, and here's what he told the security guys. So some of these guys from his church, apparently, and maybe he brought in other people, I don't know, but this is just what this guy told me. So everything is just hearsay, right?
Right.
Don't take me to court on it.
Because this is going to court, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, this is definitely going to court. So he tells us that the Shane guy, he had talked to these people from his church, and some of them were very interested in going into law enforcement, and especially the FBI. And he told them, well, Ted Nugent's coming here, and he's going to do a special like meet and greet with you guys. You guys are going to have a lot of one-on-one time with Ted Nugent, and then Ted Nugent has very close ties into the FBI, and he'll be able to get you guys a job in the FBI if you guys come and work this event for free. And so...
Dude, this guy's going straight to hell, bro.
100%.
Dude, this sounds literally like the Fire Festival scheme.
Yeah, so this is like
there's a Netflix.
And I'm
This
talking
is going to be on Netflix.
And
this is going to be on Netflix, 100%.
I can totally see these guys being like that too. Like being like, "Oh, I'm going to get a job with the FBI." They're like Paul Blarts kind of like they're like the one guy pulled out his nightstick and he's like, "I almost had to take a guy down." And I was like, "You want some of this?" And he pulls his nightstick out and I'm like,
All right.
Sure. Go for
what
it.
the hell is going on right now?
Yeah, brother.
And yeah, I was like, whoa, dude, don't do anything to me with that. Whoa.
Yeah. You never know.
Yeah. But, like, just the elaborate lies, and then it's just like I heard that Jim Shockey maybe had been approached about it. Maybe he hadn't. I don't know. But someone said, I'm not going to say who said it because I don't want to get her in trouble. But she said that she talked to Jim. And Jim said that he got a really bad feeling about it, and that's why he backed out. And he was right. Whatever feeling you had, Jim, you were right.
Dude.
This guy, he pulled a fast one. And it wasn't so much like – it was a great event. Like, if it was advertised properly and promoted properly for long enough and, like, had the right –
If you actually had pre-sold 50,000.
If you actually had 50,000 people that showed up, it probably
it
would have
have.
been
I mean, for the
knockout
class of like vendors that were there,
Yeah.
and like how much cool stuff there was actually there, which I got to see all of it 3 or 4 times over from walking around board.
Right.
I would say it would have been probably one of the coolest like hunting sports shows in Washington, but it was built on lies and deceit to get people there. So like half of these people, maybe some of them would have showed up,
Right.
you know, and been like, take a gamble on a new show. But at least half of them wouldn't have showed up if they wouldn't have been lied to. And, you know, when you're talking about people betting $50,000, $60,000, $20,000, I talked to this one couple that was like, they had just started this soap business for hunting. Like it was like making scentless soaps for hunters. And they came from the East Coast and drove with all their product, all their soap and stuff. And this was their very first trade show.
Oh, dude.
Very first trade show. They just started their business. Could you imagine getting kicked in the balls that hard? Like, you're just losing, like, everything that you scrape to try to get together to make it to a show to, like, make enough money to...
I can't imagine a guy like it. You see him in the movies, but you never think that's going to happen in real life. Like, dude,
It was real life.
If you're that big of a piece of shit, dude, Cowboys and 600 vendors and all the people. There's a lot of people that dislike
That's
you.
definitely not the type of show that you want to scam people
You're
on.
talking about a lot of ex-military guys,
Yeah.
veterans. You're talking about guys that were probably merchants after the service.
Make you
professional killers.
That's probably not the type of people I want to piss
No.
off.
Let's just put it this way. The best thing that could happen to that guy right now is that he goes to jail.
Yeah.
That's the best case scenario for him.
Best case scenario.
All right, dude.
Yeah.
You better just turn yourself in because otherwise you probably got hundreds of people hunting you.
And I don't know necessarily. Like, I think that he probably knew how bad he was and how deceitful he was. I think he knows that, but I don't know if he was gambling at all on. If maybe he watched Field of Dreams too many times.
Right.
If you build it,
Right.
they will come.
Right.
And they never came.
Dude.
So, yeah, that was my experience. Definitely not what I had anticipated to happen.
Dude.
But I had to stay, dude. I stayed the whole time because I had to see how this ended. It was like a bad movie.
Yeah.
Just watching it was surreal, almost. Like by day 3, like the show's still going on. There was this one guy who I just remember he walked in and he had his dog with him, and he said he'd been waiting for the show all weekend, but he wanted to come on Sunday to get the best deals. And he walks in the door.
Gone.
It's completely empty. We're breaking it down, and like he walks in and he goes, "What the hell is this?" And he's like, "There's no one here at the door. I just walked in. I didn't know if I was supposed to buy a ticket. It said $10 online." I'm like, "Oh, that's coming past a long time ago, buddy." And he's like, "What's happened?" I'm like,
Take a look around, bud.
I'm like, "It didn't go well. We're really sorry. This is what it is now." And he's like, "Okay." And he just like turned around like all defeated, like he like convinced the wife to let him go on Sunday or something.
Dude. That sucks.
Dude, could you imagine?
Yeah,
I can't imagine just getting there and lying to that many people over and over again. Like,
think all the work to get that lineup out there.
Oh,
and
dude.
then not to promote the other side of it.
So, I mean, the amount, it wasn't, I have to give it to him. It was impressive to be able to get that many companies there. But in order to do that, he had to hound them and lie to them.
Yeah.
And that's not right, and
Yeah, if you say you sold 50,000 tickets.
But you're right. That is a ton of work.
Yeah.
I mean, we know what it's like trying to get anyone to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to do that with like nearly 600 vendors, that's very impressive.
And then not to promote the ticket sales side of it.
Right.
Really.
Right.
Because, I mean, that lineup pretty much sells
Well,
itself.
how many of you guys heard about it or saw like any advertisements for that show leading up to it?
No.
None.
I saw a little bit.
Did you?
Yeah, but not much.
Through social media,
Yeah.
though? Through people?
I think I saw maybe one post that wasn't through somebody.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I heard a couple things, but not enough to really realize there was something serious going
Yeah,
on.
because it was like you hear like even like the Puyallup sportsman show.
Yeah.
Leading up to it, you're hearing like commercials and like seeing
yeah.
stuff, and like back in the day, like you'd hear it on the radio all the time. They'd have the elk be, welcome to Puyallup Sportsman Show.
Brought to you by Loophole.
Yeah, brought to you by Loophole.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Make sure you go to an event that's sponsored by Leopold.
Yeah.
I think that event was supposed to be sponsored by Vortex, so maybe that's part of the problem.
Wow.
Shots fired.
Shots fired. MOA was one of the main sponsors, and they left at the end of day 2. So it was like they were
Did
breaking
any of
down.
the P and Wild guys go?
No. I saw Clint there from a Revol, and we talked and hung out for a little bit, and he, but that was like out of people I know. There was a couple people that came up to me and recognized us from Bear Country, and then there was
Nice.
There was the guy that you fished with.
Yeah.
He came over because he saw a movie playing with you on it, and was like, "Do you know that guy?" He's like, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm his business partner." And he's like, "I used to fish with him. I know that guy. That's Chris. He's a great guy.
He's like, he's a real piece of shit.
That guy owes me money. He never paid for his last fishing
He
trip."
never pays for anything. He knows me because I'm always working on the boats at the dock, hanging off in the water. What's wrong today? I'm like, okay, hey, here, I need, and I would, this is no, every year I would go up there. I borrowed a boat one time. Freaking dude, that's a whole podcast in itself. But I'm not kidding. Like a motor,
You
literally
borrowed a boat?
I borrowed Travis's boat. He
Okay.
couldn't go. The freaking kicker motor snapped off the swim step, spinning around in the ocean. The main motor quit. Like we're dealing with all the electronics, and so every year I'm up there. Uncle John's motor blows up. Like, dude. Every year, so I'm like, "Hey, Cameron, you got a such and such, such and such." He's like, "I don't know," and they go, "It's a floating, like resort dock type thing, right?" So Critter Cove, and they got these little bunkhouses that just float on the water. He has a couple cabins on land now, but everything. So it's like you can imagine, you got no space. So he's got this one little flotilla, and you open this barn door, and you go, and he's got all these parts and pieces and hoses and clamps, and so I'm like stealing all his shit, trying to jerry rig these engines to get them back on the water, and just the freaking nicest guy, like the nicest of guys.
The guy that I talked to?
Yeah, like
Yeah, he was super nice.
dude, super nice.
And I talked to I think it was his old man.
Yeah, his dad. Yeah.
Yeah, and dude, that guy was a hoot. He was like, "I never seen anything like this in my," I don't know. I would only have to imagine 100 years.
Dude, a long time.
Dude, he had a walker and stuff.
Yeah,
and
he's old. He's old.
he was very old, but man, he was still tuned in. Like he was sharp as a tack.
Yeah.
He knew what was going on.
Good fishing up there, dude. I've
Yeah.
caught some dandy salmon up there, up in Nooka Sound.
Yep.
Really, really good
So
fishing.
if any of you guys or gals are listening and you're looking to like book a fishing trip up in BC, I know of an outfitter called what is
Critter Cove.
Critter Cove.
Yep.
They could use the business after taking that huge hit at this show. So go online and book a.
I'm sure any outfitter
fishing
that
trip.
was at
Yeah.
that show could use a.
Yeah, go if this website for this show is still up. Go and look through a list of outfitters. If there's anything I mean, there's a variety of outfitters. If you want to help like smooth some of this over and buy something or book a hunt or
What
whatever,
was the show called?
It was called the Vancouver Outdoor Expo.
Okay.
Vancouver Outdoor Expo. If let me go look it up and see if the website's been removed yet. I would not be surprised if this dirtbag removed it.
Probably.
But, I mean, there's got to be some litigation to be had after this.
I would think
there's
so.
already a
Yeah.
lawsuit filed. There's been the sheriff came over and he was asking questions to some of the influencers about what they knew and like why they were promising Ted Nugent was going to be there, because apparently, this is just what I heard.
Right.
Is that they reached out and he had no idea. So
He's like, Chris said you're going to be here. Who's Chris?
Who's Chris?
who is that?
Yeah.
Who said what? Who was
Yeah.
this?
It's just wild.
How'd you get my number?
Right.
I'm gonna find out who those soap people were, and I think we should like do a post to like help them. Like not like
Sell some soap.
sell some soaps.
I'll sell some soaps.
I'll go on and buy $100 worth of soap.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Doug?
I don't know about buying a giant blind. I don't know where I would put one, but maybe it's something else I could buy. The Texas guy.
Yeah, because we can't bait here in Washington anymore, apparently.
Yeah, apparently,
You
Yeah.
can feed squirrels, though.
I can feed squirrels.
I'll feed the hell out of some squirrels.
And by God, if any deer try and steal my squirrel food, I swear to God, I'll shoot them.
yeah.
Protect the ranch.
Yeah.
I'll protect.
I'm protecting my bait from the deer.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing now.
We're not endorsing poaching. Gosh.
Yes, don't do that. Fish and Game already has our number, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They're like,
So-
oh, we got
It is what it is, Chris.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we want to cover?
Oh, man, I don't know. I mean, we've been going along for
Anything you want to hit on, Josh?
Well, I think I need to get you guys out this year to shoot some ducks with me so we could cook them for Chris.
I
Yes.
would love to.
I
Yes.
think that's what we need to do. So
The first thing that pops up is Vancouver Outdoor Expo news.
News.
Not the expo itself. Oh wait, see, is the website still up?
Update.
It's still up. It's still up, folks. So go check it out and look at the list of people there.
Yeah.
Apparently, Jim Shockey has canceled.
Oh, dude, that's so funny.
I think he's out catching fish right now.
Yeah, in Mexico.
Yeah.
With his young girlfriend that he's got.
God, I know he's all young and tan.
Isn't he down there writing a book right now?
Yeah,
Is
I
that what
think
he's
so.
been working
He
on?
says he's writing a book. He's fishing and
Dude, you see how tan that guy is right
dude,
now?
he's super.
Well,
tan.
yeah. I mean, you're in Mexico. I mean,
Dude, he literally looks like 20 years younger.
Right.
I'm like, what the hell, Jim?
Gunworks. I didn't see Gunworks there. Montana Canvas. I saw them. Seek Outside. And there's, I mean, the list of,
Dude.
dude, it was.
I did
huge-
see the list of the amount of stuff that was. I thought it was a
It was impressive.
huge, impressive list of
Yeah.
different vendors and outfitters and stuff that were there.
Whistling Jacks, Outpost and Lodge. They're over on the east side of the mountains. Go give them some love. Red's Fly Shop.
Was Cantrell Outdoors there?
No, Cantrell Outdoors wasn't there.
Wasn't that big of a show then?
It says canceled.
They got the memo.
Canceled.
they
When
had-
Jim called me and he's like, I'm not going. I'm like, all right, I'm out.
Onyx,
I'm out.
Onyx was supposed to be there. I didn't see him there. But, man, the amount of Silencer Central, those guys were so pissed. Stealth Vision, that was the new scope company. This guy he's an eye surgeon guy, old guy from Texas. He was giving me this whole spiel and showing me these scopes. I'm like, sponsored by Leupold.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not buying your $4,000 eye surgery scope, dude.
Eye
It's like-
surgery scope?
Yeah, he was an eye surgeon, and that's where he came up with the idea for the.
He's like, all you have to do is magnify your vision and then you can see better.
Yeah.
I got a pair of 50-cent readers in my pocket from Amazon, bro. I'm good.
I mean, their list is so big, like it takes forever just to scroll through the amount of people that were there.
Well, we'll make sure that Doug puts something up on the YouTubes or something, and then something else. James will make a post about soap.
I'll make a post about it. I
Yeah.
feel bad. Also, like if you're in Ohio, look up whatever the poor sausage guy.
Oh, dude.
Dude, that guy got. I would say out of everyone that I talked to, that got hosed, that guy probably took the worst licking.
if you guys know about this whole story and you know some of the vendors that he's talking about, put their names in the comment their names so we can go buy. If I'm sure they can probably buy stuff online. Maybe I buy some.
If they're product related or something, I spent I spent a bunch of money there, anyways, because I walked around there's this one old timer dude, sweetest guy. He had this giant setup with all these handmade knives. They were all beautiful, antler handled knives, and he had all these cool setups. He had like a European 180-inch mule deer, and then he had carved them specifically with these beautiful knife sets that he were embedded, and they were they sat in the rack and the skull, but they were a whole set of antler handled knives,
like paring knives because the blades are small or the big blades,
different kinds, a variety, a whole set of different kinds of these
in
knives
just one rack, basically.
in one rack, and it was expensive. It was $4,000.
Yeah.
But you could think of the amount of craftsmanship, and he had all kinds of stuff. And I ended up buying a knife for my son Easton, which is way too sharp for him, by the way. Because I was like, dude, this is probably not the best thing to give him right now.
Right.
But, I just felt bad. I went over and talked to him, and I was like, hey. He's like, what the hell's going on here? He's just an old confused man that just makes knives. And, he has his whole life's work in it.
Oh, dude.
And he has his whole life's work there, it sounds like.
Yeah, oh, yeah, dude, 100%. He's telling me, oh, yeah, these ones are all Damascus steel. These are folded over, however many times and blah, blah, blah. And they're just beautiful. They're pieces of – each blade was a piece of art.
Right.
And so I was like, what's your cheapest one? Because they're expensive too, but they were by the second part of the Saturday, he was like, everything's 40% off, because he wanted to make up something to probably get his ass home.
Dude, that sucks.
So I'm like, I'll take this one, and I'll send some people over here, and Melissa Bachman did a post and included him in that too, to try to get some people to go there and do some sales. And
God, that sucks, dude.
Yeah, it was.
Well, comment on here if you see, like I said, if you know somebody that was there and it's a good somebody that we can buy some shit through and help them out. But besides that, go to deltawaterfowl.com. Go to the banquet on May 16th.
Yes, sir.
In Mukilteo.
Yep. Buy a $6,000 table. Get a Barrett.
Get a Barrett. Go for the Barrett.
Go for the Barrett, dude.
You only live once. Don't be a pussy.
Yeah.
Right. It's easy to max out a credit
When
card.
are you ever going to do that?
Yeah.
You never know when you're going to run across that bear and need the Barrett.
Dude.
You can never kill something too much, right, Chris?
If you're making a trip up to Kodiak Island anytime soon, get yourself a Barrett.
Yeah.
When they come out at 5 yards, you want to stop them quick, right?
Oh, for sure. You don't want them coming any closer. Let's
true.
put it that way. You want them running the other direction.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for having me out.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show.
Fun.
This has been a blast.
Yeah. We'll have you pick out of the box and we'll post it on the internet.
Oh, no. We should have them do it right now.
Right now?
Yes. Go take off your mic thing.
Right.
Go over there and you pick out a prize. We need to tell the people what you picked. Yeah.
You get first dibs,
How about this? We make it interesting. You have 45 seconds.
Yeah. Right.
This was actually a pretty fun podcast.
Yeah.
The amount of random shit I have in
I'm
there.
really digging the couch. We could probably go on for hours. We're going to have
I know. I was like, my back doesn't even hurt. Usually by the end of a podcast, my back hurts.
Yeah, my back and my ass hurts from those.
You taking the call?
He's taking
All
the
right.
call, folks.
All right.
All right.
He's got some sort of an elk bugle.
I'll post a video of me shooting an elk off this.
All right.
I like it.
It's nice and compact.
All right, Doug.
Just stick
Bring
it in
us
your
home,
pocket.
Doug.
Right on. Well, thanks everybody for joining and following along with our podcast. It's always a blast having people on the show. Thanks again there, Josh, for coming on. And until next time, guys, stay humble and hunt hard.